What's up everyone? Welcome back to the shop. Today I want to make a dedicated sharpening station. So something we could have all of our sharpening supplies in, and we can easily move it around. We can sharpen our tools. So what I'm thinking is basic box construction. I want to have a good sized drawer that we can put all of our sharpening supplies into. Maybe we can put some dividers in there if we want to. And then I want to have a stone tile top so we have a flat surface to work on. So I went and found the perfect piece of tile for this project. I just needed to cut it to So I went and found the perfect piece of tile for this. All I needed to do was cut it to... So I went to the store to see if I could find the perfect piece of 12-inch tile. And after looking around, I was fortunate enough to find this beautiful piece of solid granite. Man, this thing looks beautiful. It's polished, really slick. It's going to be perfect for our sharpening station. Now, I've never encountered one type of 12-inch tile being the exact same size as a different type of 12-inch tile. They all seem to differ. So it's always great to be able to have the tile first, and then I can figure out my measurements to determine my size. So the next step is to measure this thing and figure out how to make a box. I figure oak is a really good wood for this project, and not because I already have a ton of it and I don't feel like buying a different type of wood. I sliced off a little bit of that oak, and then I had to do a little bit of milling, rip it in half, basically just make all of my box parts, and then ultimately cut them to length and width. I got all my sides, so now it's time to do the joinery. Now I'm going to use dominoes for my joinery, but you could use whatever you want to do. You could put some dowels in it, you could do screws from the outside, pocket hole screws from the inside. It's all going to be hidden anyway, so just do whatever works best for you. I need a shelf for my tile to sit on top of, but I can't use solid wood because it's going to be completely encased, and then the wood wouldn't be able to expand and contract. So I need to either use MDF or plywood. I think I have MDF in the shop, so I'll use MDF. Not looking too bad. Now I need to make two pieces for the front. We need a top piece that will cover up this ugly mess, and then a bottom piece. And the bottom piece is going to be able to help hold our box bottom. So I need to go over to the table saw and cut two pieces that are whatever the thickness of the MDF and the tile is. I don't know what that is. Cut those at the table saw and then install them into our sides. And to do that, I'll probably just use dominoes because I already have the domino joiner out. But again, you could use whatever you want to, dowels, pocket hole screws, whatever. Top rail is in. Now for the bottom rail, I decided to go a little bit thinner than my original plan. So I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch rail across the bottom instead of a 1-inch rail. But a domino is not gonna fit in there. So instead I'm gonna use dowels. It's time to make a bottom for our sharpening station, and to do that, I'm gonna have to go over to the router table because we can do through cuts for the front and the back pieces, but for the side pieces, we have to do stop cuts because if we were to route all the way through, then we would see a little cutout here on the ends, and well, we don't want that. I moved up some boards to make a box bottom, glued them together, made a panel that would be the right size, and then I had to do some planing and sanding and get it all down so that it would fit into those grooves we cut over the router table. And then I turned around and dry assembled my box to make sure everything looks okay, and it all fits together pretty good. So now I have to glue it all up. This is a pretty long glue up with a lot of pieces, so I am using Titebond's Extends to give me as much working time as possible. Let's use our tile to our advantage. We'll drop that in here now, kind of use it almost like a square. All right, now while all of that is drying, we can start working on that drawer that will go I had to do a little bit of milling to get my drawer fronts and the sides, but they're all done. Now, as far as the joinery goes, I think I should just keep it simple. What I'm thinking is putting a rabbet on the end of the front and the back, and then having the side piece be able to just, you know, fit all up in there. Because I did rabbets, I don't have to go over to the router table and do that whole plunge thing and cut out a groove for the bottom to fit into. I just go over to the table saw, cut out a channel until our bottom fits into place. After I got the drawer glued up, I spent a little bit of time just fine-tuning things, hit it with some sandpaper, hit it with a hand plane, just to make sure that that drawer slides smoothly into our sharpening station. Now at this point, we need to put a handle on the front of this. Well, I got a black metal bar handle. I really like the look of it. The thing is it kind of sticks out a little bit too far for my liking. So I think I'm gonna try to modify this in some way and then maybe flush mount it to our drawer front instead. Last minute addition, I decided to reinforce the joints on the drawer. I know this drawer is gonna hold a lot of weight when you start putting in all that sharpening stuff. So to strengthen it, I drilled a hole in each of the corners and then just tapped in a brass pin. So I just put some CA glue in there, tapped in the brass dowel, cut it off, and then sanded everything flush. Looks great, also super strong. If you've ever bought one of those mounts for your TV to hang your TV on the wall, they usually give you 100,000 bolts and screws. Well, I just throw them in a coffee can. And well, I was able to find a couple that fit my handle perfectly, so that worked out pretty well. I kind of consider this shop furniture, so you can apply whatever finish you want. I'm gonna put a couple coats of Osmo on it, and then we can wrap this thing up. While I'm applying that sweet, sweet finish, let me give a big thank you to the newest members of our superhero community over on Patreon, William Schuler, Joe Russo. Thank you so much for all of your support. The support that I get from the superhero community over on Patreon allows me to make more videos here on YouTube. So if you're interested in some sneak peeks, behind the scenes, bonus content, then hey, head on over to patreon.com/NewtonMakes and check it out. This was a fun build and really useful too, to be able to take all my sharpening stuff, put it into one drawer, be able to put this off to the side, and everything's organized, but it also looks pretty good too. Now I decided to not put any dividers in my drawer, and that's because I don't really have a ton of sharpening stuff. I have a pretty simplistic sharpening method, but if you have a lot of equipment, I could see why you would want to put some dividers in there just to keep things organized. I am interested though, if you were to make something like this for your shop based off your sharpening method, how would you customize this? Are there changes that you would make to this that works best for your sharpening method and the way that you want to have all your tools set up? So if you do have some ideas, leave a comment below. I'd love to see those. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel. And until we meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.